Good morning. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them. Today is Memorial Day. It is Monday, May 30th, 2022. And we're going to take an opportunity to say thank you to all of our armed forces, all of our veterans, all of our military personnel, foreign and domestic, as we welcome Dr. Tommy Eanelli back for another Monday edition. Have Faith, Let It Begin starts right now.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let it begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Ariel, can you say have faith?
Again.
Let it begin?
Again.
Say have faith.
Again.
Let it begin.
No.
No? Okay.
It's a boy.
Hi, Noah.
Noah!
Noah.
Jesus. Happy birthday, Noah!
Caitlin.
You did amazing.
He just put those there. Noah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Have Faith, Let It Begin on this Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. And always, of course, my yin to my yang, my Tom Seaver to my we'll just say Schweizer. Is it Schweizer? Did I say it wrong? Max Schweizer?
You could say Scherzer.
I messed up the whole.
Let's do this. Let's say the following. I'm the DeGrom to your Scherzer. I'm your Pete Alonso to your Jeff McNeil. I am your McCann to your Brendan Nemo. How's that sound?
Love it. And that's how we started. Dr. E, welcome back, buddy.
Have faith, let it begin, baby. Happy Memorial Day.
Absolutely. As we, definitely show our gratitude to all of our veterans out there. Listen, right about now, a lot of you know that it's Memorial Day. We all know that it's a special day. But, I wanted to take a side note to this. In addition to the fact that we are saying thank you to everyone that has served this great country, we want to talk about the one thing that is so important in addition to Memorial Day, and that's barbecuing. That's right. I wanted to talk about your favorite foods of a barbecue and how we take the time to say, let's ring in the summer. And what is your favorite barbecue type of dish? I'm going to let you start this off.
Yep. So I love the way you started the podcast. So there's a lot of solemnity with what we're talking about. So Memorial Day is really a decoration day. It's to observe the sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice that all of our, dear beloved friends in the armed services, all the sacrifices they made. And when I say the ultimate sacrifice, obviously they had given their lives for whatever conflict, going back to the Revolutionary War up to the most recent wars out in the Middle East. So it's kind of almost like a paradox that Memorial Day is known for barbecuing and for fun stuff and family gatherings. And I think that's actually not a bad thing. I think it's actually a wonderful thing that we could have fun, yet at the same time appreciate the sacrifice that our vets have given us. And would you agree?
Absolutely. And, that's the best part about Memorial Day is that you're not only celebrating, the American flag, you're celebrating everything that has been done for our way of freedom and a way of life. And by the way, that quote that I read earlier, I should have given gratitude, of course, to that. That was John F. Kennedy, the 35th president of the United States, who said that. That was a direct quote from him. And I will say this, just memories for myself. I remember my father, getting his first big grill. I remember getting the grill set up and we didn't have yet the hybrids of the grills now, like I do, where you have half charcoal and half propane. We're talking about old school grilling, grabbing out those charcoals, putting a big giant pyramid, soaking it up with as much, lighter fluid and lighting the candle. And then of course it goes away and you start lighting fluid again. And then all of a sudden you call the cops or the fire department because you put too much. I can still smell it. There's nothing like a nice charcoal barbecue.
I remember that. And I remember there was a $5 accoutrement, like a really fancy gadget where you plugged in this, almost like this, a coil, an iron coil. and you would plug it in and you would put it on the bottom of the barbecue. So that would kind of heat up, the charcoal bricks, because I think that we lost that as that type of barbecuing takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of experience. We just turn on the propane and boom, but you don't get that same charcoal taste. And you didn't yell at me for not answering your question. The answer to your question is hot dogs.
Well, I was going to say
no better food than the ultimate tube steak, the ultimate cylindrical work of perfection. That I think that on the seventh day, people say God rested. I say on the seventh day, God ate hot dogs from Nathan's. That's what I say.
And it's funny. I was ready to do that, and you beat me to the punch. I was going to say, by the way, Dr. E, you didn't answer my question.
Yep, there you go. I did beat you to the punch. Well, I was busy trying to reconcile, the fun of the barbecue with, again, the sacredness of Memorial Day. There is a couple of things, if you don't mind me sharing.
No, please. So
I love history, that, and one of my favorite historical figures from this country is Abraham Lincoln, who, went through the Civil War, and they consider him the greatest president. And he had gone out to Gettysburg to make a speech. And as the story goes, he wrote his speech on the train. And there were all of these politicians that made these really long-winded speeches. And when it was the president's turn, to Abraham Lincoln, I believe his Gettysburg address was only several minutes long, and they still believe that might have been the greatest speech ever by an American president. And it starts with the 7 years ago, going through his perception of the Civil War, that a country that was birthed with freedom and equality, how could it continue? How could any country be successful with that model when there's a slavery in place? And they asked him to do a speech to dedicate the graveyard, the battlefield graveyard. And he mentioned that there are no words that he could have thought of, or anyone that could consecrate that graveyard, that battlefield graveyard, more than what the efforts were of the veterans on both sides, the North and the South, that gave their blood and gave their souls and gave their life that day. And I think that really kind of sums up my view of Veterans Day, as far as, of course, the hot dogs and the family and the whole thing. But we have to realize that people die in war, and we have to do everything possible to avoid war. But we also can't back down from a bully. So, we need our military, and hats off. And the second part of what I was going to say was, our cancer survivors, and, I do the CROC podcast with you as the best co-host in the universe. And our cancer survivors are such heroes anyway. But when a cancer survivor comes in that's also a veteran, whether they served in a wartime or not, it's like I go over and give them a big hug and thank them and shake their hand and just give them so much credit, because I love the vets. I mean, I actually volunteered 2 years of my time, one day a week, in the East Orange VA, taking care of the vets. And I just think you guys out there are the greatest. So if you're a vet out there, happy Memorial Day. For anybody out there, any of the Have Faith, Let It Begin listeners who have lost a loved one in the service of this country, you guys are heroes. Not only is your loved one who passed the hero, but you guys are heroes as well. The widows that the men left behind, the wives, the children, the stories we hear of the sacrifice and the bravery. And when we think we're having a bad day, we should really reflect on that sacrifice of those heroes.
Here. I totally agree with everything you just said. And, as a son of a vet, my father, 25 plus years, and just being a part and know that what he does for our country, just really, it's amazing. And it's not even just, my father. Obviously there's so many people, we could be here for forever describing the amount of people that have given their time, and I even say their gifts, their talents, for everything they have done for this country, is truly one of the greatest sacrifices, bar none. And really the point of this episode is to say a little bit of that. And then of course, to end on a fun note, you know, we started off with the whole barbecuing and you mentioned hot dogs. I gotta be honest. I love hot dogs, but I gotta stick with the old famous hamburgers. There's nothing like a made burger on a charcoal grill. And I will debate anybody that will say that a propane tank is just as good, because there's nothing like that charcoal tasty over lighter fluid smelling burger.
I respect your opinion. I will say another thing is that I'm not entirely sure I'm in love with all of the new fancy things that have happened to barbecuing. I mean, you know, it was the hot dogs, the hamburgers, the sausage, and the chicken legs, right? That was always that's what was going on in the grill.
Yes.
Boy, I'll tell you, they barbecue pizza, they barbecue, bok choy, I mean, the stuff they're doing on the grill, the Food Channel, Bobby Flay. I mean, it's pretty incredible, the stuff they're doing. And, not to take away from all that fancy stuff, but you know what? An American barbecue is still hot dogs, hamburgers, sausage, and a chicken leg. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. We're over here doing a live episode, VI, of course, for all of you on Memorial Day. This is going to air for a lot of you right now, as you're probably traveling either back home or trying to find a way of deciding if they're going to take an extra day off, or God forbid you make a flight. So listen, let's get back to the grill real quick, because I know that we have a few more minutes on this episode. A lot of people are grilling on their charcoal grill. I'm going way back now. Remember when the charcoal grill after a while would have holes and you'd have to stuff it with like aluminum foil?
Yes.
Did that ever happen to you?
You didn't go to the store and get another one. That was your grill for life.
Yeah, right? The grill would just never leave you. It was just always...
It was rusted and full of carcinogens, but God forbid we ever got rid of it.
Exactly. And that's really the key. One of the things I always want to point out as the message, here's the message within the message. Yes, it's Memorial Day. Yes, we barbecue. Yes, we have our favorite foods. E likes hot dogs. I like the hamburgers. But let's talk about the one thing that has been missing for the last couple of years, and that's fellowship. It's getting together with family. Right now, Dr. E and I are doing things via Zoom because it's a little bit more convenient for us due to our work schedules. However, we know in any perfect world, we would actually be in the same room or in the studio together. What we can do this year that we couldn't do in many years is get together with our family and our friends, is getting together and hugging one another and allowing us the opportunity to be with one another. And I encourage each and every single one of you to embrace that. Many people over this last week are not going to have a full family at their dinner table. And without getting into detail, we know what we're talking about. But one of the things that we have to embrace is the time that we have with each other, because today is today. Tomorrow's not promised. Things happen. We can't predict it. We can't explain it. But one thing is for sure, when we are on this earth and we're around family, we have that ability to tell that one person, I love you, to tell that one person, it's great to be with you, to share with that one person, break bread with that one person. So I'm here to tell Dr. E, it is always a true honor to share the microphone with you. And I am wishing you and your family a very safe and happy Memorial Day weekend, my friend.
Likewise, I'm actually transcendentally hugging you, Angel, and just not letting you go and getting really weird about it. So I just want to,
Well, listen, on that note,
feel that.
This is the time where we'll close out in a prayer. Let's do that. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for today's episode. We want to thank you for the ability to come together on Memorial Day and to share this episode that's going to air on Monday. This is a pre-recorded message. I want to make sure we all know that, because we're going to be taking some time off as well. But actually, before I continue with the prayer, God forgive me for stopping for a second. There is an episode that's coming up next Sunday, or the week we just passed. We just did an episode yesterday. You want to talk about that with the CROC podcast? Give a little plug.
Sure. We're on an exercise module. In the first episode, we just talked about exercise in general for cancer survivors. And The one that was aired yesterday was our friends from our local CrossFit gym, talking about high intensity training and strength training, and all the things that I hate to do. They're going to talk about how important it is. So if you want to learn something about exercise, this module is a good one for you guys. You don't have to be a cancer survivor. Not only do you get to learn some cool stuff about exercise, you get to hear your favorite podcast king, the Hall of Fame, best Oscar-winning podcast man, Angel Santana, will be on that show as well. So please listen to the CROC podcast.
All right. So with that being said, that being done, actually, and said, now we'll go to a formal prayer. So Heavenly Father, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to plug another show, because what we do with the CROC podcast and the Have Faith, Let It Begin podcast is what we're set out to change the world one random act of kindness at a time. Lord, there are many people right now that are coming together as a family. There are many people that are saddened. We want you to embrace, Lord, all of us, and to keep us together, and to allow us the opportunity to know that in these hard times, there's also some good times. And being with family and being with friends and sharing and breaking bread and having hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, and dip will allow us that opportunity. Notwithstanding that, we want to thank our armed forces, our veterans, and everyone who's celebrating Memorial Day. May the flags be shining so bright. May they be waving, and the stars and stripes allow everyone to be proud to be an American today and every day. In closing, veterans are a symbol of what makes our nation. It makes our nation great, and we must never forget all that has been done to ensure our freedom. For Have Faith, Let It Begin, my name is Angel, and for Dr. Tom Eanelli, we say thank you and happy Memorial Day. And never forget,
have faith, let it begin.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.